2 months earlier, at least by my reckoning, I had been stationed on Earth's orbital station Atlas Prime. We'd picked up the signals long before anyone took them seriously. Faint energy waves rippling across the void, carrying patterns too structured to be natural. By the time we realized they weren't just signals, it was too late. The invasion wasn't like the movies. No warships blotting out the skies, no thunderous landings. It was quiet, precise, and merciless. Energy storms stripped Earth's defenses. Vast machines descended to the surface, draining oceans and splitting continents. Within days, entire cities were reduced to skeletons of ash and bone. I was one of the few pulled off-world by sheer accident. A transport shuttle carrying medical supplies to the station was redirected mid-flight to collect survivors. I boarded with 30 others. By the time we reached orbit, the planet below us was burning. The shuttle shook violently, and the last thing I remember clearly is a blinding white light swallowing us. When I woke again, it was here, in this alien facility, strapped to this bed, under the eyes of the nurse who had just called me another case. The middle. The nurse recovered her composure quickly, though I could tell something had shifted. "You cannot be the last," she said, her tone sharp now, almost defensive. "Human records show millions remain. Those records are wrong." My voice cracked again, but I forced myself to keep going. I watched Earth die. No one else made it. Her gaze lingered on me, and for the first time I felt the weight of her silence. She turned, pressing her long fingers against a glowing panel on the wall. The chamber filled with a low chime, and moments later another alien entered, this one taller, robed, carrying an air of authority. His eyes swept over me like I was an insect pinned under glass. The nurse spoke rapidly in her own tongue, melodic syllables rising and falling like waves. The translation device didn't bother trying. It wasn't meant for speed. All I caught were fragments, words like impossible, extinction, and asterisk anomaly star. The robed alien finally addressed me. "You claim to be the final remnant of your species. Why?" "Because I was there," I snapped. "Because I saw the oceans burn and the skies collapse. Because every voice I ever knew was silenced. If there are others, they're ghosts." The room went still. The robed alien's expression didn't change, but his silence was an answer in itself. Without another word, he turned and left, leaving me with the nurse once more. For a long moment she didn't move. Then slowly she reached out and released the restraints on my wrists. "You are not a case," she whispered, almost too softly for the translator to catch. "You are something else. Fragile trust." Over the next few days, or what passed for days in that place, the nurse returned often. She introduced herself as Celera, though she warned me her name didn't translate well. At first she asked me endless questions. About human biology, human history, the way our societies functioned. But gradually her questions shifted. She wanted to know how we loved, how we mourned, how we dreamed. It was clear she wasn't just treating me. She was studying me, but also trying to understand me. "You do not fear me," she said one day, scanning a glowing chart that floated in the air between us. "Should I?" "Most patients flinch. Most cry. You only stare." "Maybe I'm too tired to be afraid," I answered. "Or maybe I've lost everything already, so what's left to fear?" Her eyes flickered with something unreadable. "Loss. That word. It carries weight for you." "Yes," I said bitterly. "More than you can know." But she surprised me. "Do not be so sure. My kind understands loss. We were healers before we were conquerors." That was the first time she admitted what I already suspected, that her people were part of the invasion that had ended Earth. The revelation. Weeks passed. Solara's visits became less clinical, more human. She would linger after procedures, sometimes even sit beside me as the strange machinery hummed. She asked me to tell her Earth stories, about oceans and forests, about music and storms. One evening, when the chamber lights dimmed to mimic dusk, she asked the question I had been dreading. If you are the last, what do you wish to become? I don't understand. If humanity is ended, what role remains for you? Survivor, memory, or something new? Had no answer. The truth was, I hadn't thought that far ahead. Survival had been my only focus. But her question haunted me, gnawed at me like hunger. The next time the robed alien returned, I understood why she asked. He carried with him a device unlike anything I'd seen, an orb of liquid light shifting constantly. This is a seed, he said, encoded with human essence, built from samples collected long ago. With it we could restore your species, at least in part. I stared stunned. You had this. You could have saved us. His expression remained as cold as stone. It was never our directive. Your species was observed, catalogued, but never protected. Now one remains. The council debates what to do with you. Solara's voice was tight. They consider destroying the seed. My chest tightened. Why? Because one species must end for another to rise, she whispered. It is the law of conquest.